Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Carvey. Good morning, Nate. All the folks here. So again, welcome to the program. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Today is Throwback Thursday. We will be doing Throwback Thursday Black History Trivia. Because Black History is not just a month, not just a day. Black History is every day, 24/7, 365. Every day, every day. So we'll do that. Let me. It was interesting. Dr. Myers is having a conversation with the representative of the reproductive rights group, and boy, I tell you. I've always said that the world changed. Obviously, today's May the 8th, 9th. May 9th, the world changed May 9th when the Food and Drug Administration approved the pill, contraceptive. It just changed the world, and it really has on a lot of different levels. So the fact that it gave women more of a choice over when they got pregnant, I just think is a game changer. It was very difficult for women, and still is very difficult for women to pursue careers. When children, it can impact the career that they have or choices that they make in their lives. And so very happy. I'd say very happy, but I'm glad that day happened. And the whole idea around reproductive health, and especially when it comes to the issue of Black female maternity in this country, where you probably have a 2-time higher risk of having complications in your pregnancy if you're descendants of enslaved Africans. And so this whole reproductive health issue, I think, is an important one. I think, in my mind, it's a question of science. And for other people, and look, I'm just going to put it out there because this is just Keith with a Q. But I think the reason why this whole anti-abortion piece is even a thing is I think that there's a fear that descendants of Europeans will become a minority. Well, right now it is projected that they will be a minority in this country. And so I think it has a whole lot to do with that and wanting more descendants of Europeans to procreate, have more folks. So I think that that's the real fear that America is browning. And I think the projection is by 2050, brown folks will be the numerical majority in the country. And so I think there's a lot of fear around that. I think you've seen that in terms of the anti-immigration. Well, two things going on with the anti-immigration piece here. One, that there are people who are very fearful of people coming in to this country that don't look like them, which I think is very amazing when you look at America. I think the other piece of it is the idea that when these folks come in, that they're using hatred and fear of others as a political motivator, right? I never understood how you're in West Virginia talking about build a wall. They not come for your jobs in West Virginia. What man? Put the crack pipe down. What's happening? So I think that that's important to have that. I think Dr. Myers pointed something out that is really, I don't know if it's a contradiction, but you will find that descendants of enslaved Africans tend to be very progressive when it comes to government and government programs, tend to be more conservative when it comes to issues, certainly issues around sexuality, right? And that's reproductive rights. That's also LGBTQ issues. And so we tend to be, and this is statistically borne out, We tend to be more conservative, where we will align ourselves, some of us, with white evangelicals when it comes to these so-called social issues. Now, there was a term that we say social issues, but there's a term that they use in politics called a wedge issue. A wedge issue. It's one of those things where you can stick that into the whole political discourse, and people will emotionally react to it. Great example. Ideas of trans individuals competing. So if I'm a trans and I was born a male, I transitioned to female, and then I should on a lot of levels, they're preventing them, certainly on the high school level, from competing. So if I started as a male, transition to female, I want to compete with females, people are pushing back, right? Because they feel like you have a physical disadvantage. Women would have a physical disadvantage because this is a former male. And so a lot of people will get on that. What is the percentage of that? Point what? 5%? 0.5%. But it is different. I have had discussions about people and people feeling that if he's born a man, God made him a man, and he should stay a man. Okay. If you born a man and you want to be a man, then you stay a man. The problem that I have with it is how people are going to tell someone else what to do with their bodies. And how much freedom should we have when it comes to what we want to do with our own bodies? If it was funny, Meech had called in on a Friday, and he was talking about promoting the gay agenda. And I said, show me in the so-called gay agenda where they're telling straight people to become gay. But straight people tell gay people to become straight every day. So it is this idea that I don't want anybody to tell me what I can and cannot do with my body. I want to have full control and autonomy over my body. But we don't have a problem, some of us, saying to other people what they should or should not do with their bodies. So if you look at it just from a question of freedom, then that becomes an issue. I know, and and then I'm always amazed at this one. Then there are people, they ain't been to church since the 20th century, but they're going to cite religion as their reason for opposition to someone having a sex change. Where is that? What? So I think that when we get out of the emotional weeds that we find ourselves in, if America really is about that people should have freedom, that means that people should then have freedom to say who I am, what I'm called, all those things. But this idea that, and I'd have enough time to really go with Meech on this, but this whole idea that there's a gay agenda out there trying to make Americans gay, I'm not. Now, if somebody's aware of that, the phone lines are open, and tell me where that's happening. I think what we do have is people have a discomfort of seeing behavior that used to be hidden. That's the problem. We're exposed to more now in America. We're seeing, if you watch advertising, see, one, they're doing more same-sex couples. You see that. You see a lot of biracial individuals, biracial couples and families, because I think that's a little bit more reflective of what America looks like and what America is. Yes, there are gay families or families headed by gay and lesbian individuals. Okay, are they any less a family than a family that's led by straight folks? As a matter of fact, that was one of the issues that some of my Black Republican friends had with Black Lives Matter, because Black Lives Matter has as one of their tenets is that they respect all forms of family. There is no ideal or one way or this is how family should be. So with that said, I'm sure we're getting phone calls. I wonder, am I surprised? I sure did. But caller one to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Parris.
How are you, sir?
Assalamu alaikum to you. I'm all right. I'm breathing.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
alive. So that's the most important thing. Excuse me. Just listening. I don't think that is, like, for me personally, I don't care what you do with your body. It's your body. Whatever your faith or whatever your belief is, whatever it is that helps you make decisions in life, however you weigh that's between you and whoever you're doing that with, as far as I'm concerned. I think that what people get upset about is like that if there are children who grew up in that type of environment and they see this type of lifestyle, what about the impressions that they might take from that? And that might cause them to become young people before puberty, to go out and be lurkers or I'll just say predators, young predators, and seeking to impose that upon a person or persons who have never been exposed to that. And that, in turn, in my mind, it takes away that other person's judgment, because that's what happened to my niece. And so I'm like, on one hand, it's like I really don't give a rat's patootie, because I'm not up in there with you, so it don't matter to me. But if you live in this homosexual lifestyle and you have little children around you and they consider that normal, then when they get around other little children, they might start emulating that behavior. And the other person that they might be trying to emulate that behavior on or to may not want that. And then there are people, you have to think about the psychological disposition of little children. When I was 12 and 11 years old, I was catching bugs, playing with chemistry set, race cars, riding a bike, roller skating in the middle of the street, jumping off garages, climbing trees, stealing pears from the old man's pear tree, getting chased by dogs, by the older dude in the neighborhood. They would chase us around. We were cleaning up the neighborhood, and the man who owned all the bars or whatnot, he would give us money to clean up the neighborhood after we showed him our grades and stuff like that. So we were never like trying to sexualize one another. That came later on in life, at least for me. So
well, Christopher,
I hear what you're saying.
Let me say this, and I know that your sexuality is not determined by the home that you grow up in. You're born with your sexuality. So, and I just pulled it up. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you have people who grew up in straight homes who turned out gay, and you have children who grow up in homes that are led by gay folks. And I'm just pulling up some of the statistics, and it says that it's no different. Your sexuality is not so much controlled by where you grew up. Your sexuality is your genetics.
I think that's inactual. I don't believe that at all. I totally disagree with that, and I think that.
Well, then explain all the gay people who grew up in straight homes.
Maybe they ran into another gay person.
No, maybe they were gay. Maybe they were born gay. Or
homosexual, because gay means happy.
Okay, but let's say how many grew up in homes that was led, and they said that there's statistically no difference in terms of how these kids turn out emotionally.
Oh yeah, and there's another thing that I don't know if you're aware of. There's a room in the UN, and I think there's a charter where this lady, I forget her name, and I can get the information and bring it back to you. But this lady, she wrote something about making sure that they promote homosexuality and discourage heterosexuality and marriage and destroy the family unit. And this document exists, and there is a room in the UN that's dedicated to this. So this is not just.
I think first of all, we have a myth. Let's look at our families. Yeah, we operate on myths. Look at our families. So you got folks all kind of behavior. So you saying the behavior that we see is based on whether our parents were gay or straight?
No, what I'm saying is that if you are overexposed to something subliminally, it's being planted in your subconscious. And just anything. It's like,
But your
it's
sex drive,
suggestive
your sex
selling.
drive is your sex drive. That's a biological thing.
Well, right, but that doesn't mean that just because you have a sex drive, you want to go have sex with another dude. Or
Exactly, because
girls.
it comes down to so. All right, man.
You don't
Appreciate you.
understand what I'm saying.
I don't.
Promotion of homosexuality leads to that.
Well, then what is promotion of heterosexuality led to? All right. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
You know, this is a very complicated. It's not black and white. Like you said, if gay children come out of straight homes, and
you need to take us off the speakerphone.
Okay. There are some gay children that come out of straight homes, and there are some straight kids that come out of gay homes. And you can be introduced to something before you actually experience the other natural of what you want that could flaw your thinking because you're so young. When Oprah had that show and had those 200 guys on, most of them had been sexually molested. And they were upset with themselves because their body reacted to this experience.
That's a fetish.
And so they questioned, well, maybe I'm gay then because I responded.
Right.
And that's not necessarily true.
Right.
I myself do not, because yes, I'm a Christian. It's in the Bible that you should not be lovers of yourself. But that's God's place to judge, not mine. And no, and when I was growing up, I had 4 brothers, and I was the only girl. We never had people come spend the night. I could never have one of my girlfriends spend the night because I had 4 brothers, and my father would not allow that. I couldn't go spend the night anywhere because that's not of their thinking. You go have fun with people for a little while, and then you come home because I don't know what they're practicing in their home. So we need to get off of this judging people, telling them what they should be and what they shouldn't be. But what is unfair for you to abduct my child and try to induct her into something that she is not.
What does that have to do? See, wait, stop. Hold on just a moment. Just a moment. Hold on, please. Okay. You bringing everything into this. They're related, but they're not the same thing. You know, so when we talk about kids being molested, that's a different piece than who I am, who I fall in love with. That's different. And there are people who grew up in homes where they had heterosexual parents and they were gay.
Exactly.
So all I'm saying is because your parents has everything to do with your genetics, and then what? Okay. So when we had the conversation, I think we should kind of, as much as we can, deal with the biology and the science of it, and then we'll get it because the Bible said. I don't know what does that have to do with the Bible says a whole lot of things, because if we sit up and look at how many people have had children outside of wedlock, okay, so that's what the Bible teaches, but and we've gotten to the point because maybe I don't know if our understanding of our sexuality has expanded. I would like to think that it has, but in some ways it's not. So
okay, Keith, can I just say one thing?
Sure.
You have people that are straight gay. They do not prefer nothing but that male. And then you have some people that tell you they're bisexual.
Right.
We know that the craving. Okay, let me just explain something to you. Everybody that do that, it's a craving. Your flesh is a desire. And some people that tell you immediately, they could watch a porn video that will excite them.
But we're not talking about just the sex act. And see, that's what people focus on. This is why a lot of people have a problem with homosexuality. If you did a poll and said, should you have the right to love whoever you want to love? Most people say, yeah.
Right.
Okay. And then you get to, well, how they having sex? Oh, now I got a problem with that. So it has everything to do with, we're looking at the sex act. The sex act is the last thing we should be looking at, is who are you going to be romantically attracted to? And then there's another thing out there called the sexual spectrum. The sexual spectrum goes from people, as you say, very, very, very heterosexual to people who are very, very, very homosexual. And then most of us are falling in the middle of that. Most of us might veer towards the heterosexual piece. But then when you say a person is bisexual, that means that they're in the spectrum. And a lot of this is driven by biology. There are people, there's this thing when we start talking about pedophilia, for example, the term they use is an autoerotic fetish, right? It is not a sex drive. You're dealing with something else. A fetish is something that I enjoy, right? So
Right, okay.
I think
and
it gets
now, and there are a whole bunch of men that are undercover, or however you do that, and it's causing a lot of disease.
because you cannot live openly gay.
Okay.
All right. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Great.
Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice. What did TG say? TD say, get ready. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning. I want to say hello to everybody. I think personally, when people worry about other people's sexuality, sometimes I think they undercover perverse because they didn't get an invite or they didn't make the cut. Why are you worried about what two men or two women doing? Just worry about what you're doing. And if you didn't get none, go find you some. And if you don't got it, go pay for it. Be a happy camper and focus on your life. Then y'all bring up, some of y'all always talk about procreation. Y'all using birth control pills. Y'all don't got 15 kids. You know why? Because you don't want to deal with all them diapers and tips and dookie, okay? So why are you worried about what somebody else is doing? But let's get real dirty.
No, let's not.
Please,
no,
not.
not like that. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you pull them pins and them panties down,
Wait
you
a
will see
minute.
so many lifetime stories and bad plots. You will see abortions. You will see marriages that was forced because they was leaking from their breast.
Yeah.
You will see a whole lot of stuff. Right. And then y'all talk about DL men. Most DL men comes from society because y'all won't allow people to be who they are. But what's really going on in some of y'all bedrooms? Because some of y'all are dyking and bulldagging too. And you still sit up in church on Sunday. Y'all done had a couple of diseases too. Make sure you tell your husband about you when you slept with his brother and that kid he got is actually not his, but it's the granddaddy's. So argue that while you worried about what two men and two women doing. Stop paying attention to people bulldagging and dyking.
All right.
If you don't like it, try it.
All
Have a great day.
Yeah, it was something my friend said to me many years ago. She said, you know what? There's no such thing as a gay black man. I said, sure there are. She said, no, there's no such thing as a gay black man. If you ever read the article, The Down Low, that was done in New York Times, man, it's been years since they did that article. But it talked about how with AIDS, and I was just watching this movie the other day, and the band played on talking about the AIDS crisis and the medical response to it. And they did something because when they would go and interview black men, they first asked the question, are you gay? And black men would say no. So they had to recalibrate how they asked the question. And you began to see it where they said, have you had sex with other men? Right now, the answer to that question is probably going to be yes. It's very difficult, I think, culturally, for black people to come out as gay. You hear people say, you know, it's just very difficult, and it's difficult because culturally, it is still frowned upon, right? That people might be gay. But Al's on point. There's a whole lot of brothers and sisters on the down low, right? Because they cannot come out for whatever reasons, the impact it might have on their family, in certain instances, the impact it might have on their vocation. Let's say that they are clergy. So it becomes very difficult. You're not going to, I don't see it happening any time in my lifetime where, you know, we will get to the point that people can truly live their truth. I just don't see it happening just because I think the cultural strains are so strong. And there's a lot that probably goes into when it comes to, especially around issues of black male homosexuality, you know, because of our sense of our conception of what masculinity is, right? And this whole idea of what makes you a man, and, you know, that a manly man. Well, this might surprise some of the folks. Some of the most masculine, manly men you will ever meet could be gay men. Like some of the most feminine women you might ever meet might be gay women. So but it's hard in our culture, and it's hard on a lot of different levels. And just coming up.
Any truth to, well, you would know definitively, but Dwayne Wade.
I don't know. Those are rumors, man.
Dwight Howard.
He's kind of acknowledging it.
Right.
But okay.
I mean, when you spoke to manly man, I mean, you think
right.
of, you know,
yeah,
basketball, you know.
It's a myth that they're all feminine or they're all women are very masculine, and that's what makes them. He used some terms I hate that people use to describe.
And they're not per se politically correct. I mean, you just
don't. I mean, but no, I think it's. But this is our conception of what we think femininity and masculinity should look like. The reality is, you'd be surprised.
Right.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Yes, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just have a comment,
Do you have us
I
on
love
speaker?
every, no, oh yes, I'll take it off. I apologize. Okay, my,
Let me
thing
say
is,
this. Hang on once. Let me say this, callers. We tell you
Okay.
this all the time. You guys hear us asking other people to take us off speaker. Please, if you're going to call the show, if you want to come through clearly and for us to be able to converse with you, you have to not utilize your speakerphone, okay? Please
I
don't
under-
call us on speaker. I know it's
I
easier.
just forgot.
All
I
right.
forgot.
Thank you. And I'm not just talking to you. I said that for everyone that's listening. Thank
Oh.
you. Go right ahead.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so my comment is, God said loves everyone, and I do, no matter what their lifestyle is, because I have some family members that's gay, and I love them dearly, and some of my friends that were gay or are gay, they make the best of friends. Gay people are real good people. They're kind hearted, they're loving, they're funny. You can have fun with them, and just let them live their life and leave them alone. They're human, and I have nothing against any gay person in the city of Milwaukee or anywhere. Just let them live, leave them alone. People are so I hate for them, but they shouldn't. Life is life. I have gay family members, and I love them dearly.
Do you love them differently than your other family members?
No, I do not.
Okay. So then,
Nope.
whether they're gay or straight, that shouldn't even be an issue then, right?
Not at all.
Okay. All right.
Nope. All right.
All right. I could tell you, and I had an experience with someone that I know. If I come and tell my mama that I made a baby, my mama gonna da 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 da, but she's not gonna have the same reaction she's gonna have if I come to my mama and say I'm gay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and again, it's how we've been taught, and how we feel about situations, and then there are some people out there. We found out with Eddie Long. The thing that drove me nuts about Eddie Long was that how hypocritical Eddie Long was, because Eddie Long is out leading marches against same-sex relationships, and he's having same-sex relationships. So, and when you look at, and his whole thing is, now I'm glad, his whole ministry was this whole masculine Christianity. That was his thing. That's why you saw him with his little too tight shirts on, because he in the gym and the whole thing. But at the same time, and then what was the percentage of his church that was gay? And I say this all the time for those religious leaders who want to do the whole Adam and Steve thing. You don't have a different offering, or you do not, or you don't refuse, or you take the offering of your gay parishioners, you take their money, and you cool with that. But then at the same time, there's folks who are condemning them. And I admire, for whatever reasons, when gay people find themselves in these spaces where people are being critical of them and they decide to stay. Man, I respect you, because it'd be very difficult. I said the next time I hear a fire and brimstone sermon on divorce will be almost the first time I've heard a fire and brimstone on divorce.
It's because so many of them pastors. Did I say that loud? I'm sorry. I did.
Right.
Because
I found this out. Who's Charles Stanley? That was a big issue with him when he got his divorce. And in most instances, a lot of these pastors supposedly going to lose their
Marvin Wine.
Oh yeah, and that was a messy one.
Mm-hmm.
That got. So what I'm saying is, maybe. Anyway, let me get the caller here. This is going to be great. Caller, welcome to the program.
Well, you really should have went ahead and I want you to make your point on what you were, because, well, first of all, good morning.
Good morning, man.
Keith. Good morning, Devo. Good morning, Milwaukee. Tyrone W. speaking. And I want to make myself perfectly clear. Whatever you were gonna expound on. Because I want to hear what you had to say, before you got to me. So I'll be listening out for that there. But I just wanted to ask you a question. Can a male or a female, can each individual, can a male produce estrogen and testosterone? That's a question I'm at. I need to know the answer to that. Keith or Debo, whoever.
Yeah,
can a male produce testosterone and estrogen?
I think we can, because I think the reason why I'm saying this, and Bobby should look it up, is that there are people who are going through prostate cancer treatment, and they give them estrogen. And even women, when you look at them, if they're out really physically working themselves into shape, I think they're doing testosterone then. So I think it's in both of us. I think it's the levels that differentiates male and female.
All right. Okay, well now, go ahead, Debo.
You want to say anything?
Oh, okay. Well, no, what I was going to say was, okay, well, if that's the case, then okay, well, we know that the females make the babies, they produce the milk, okay, but then again, now, if that's the case, I mean, as far as personal preference, I mean, like Miss Annette said, I mean, what one does in their bedroom, that's on them, I mean, I know what attracts me, and that's, what God gave the women to me, that's what attracts me, the way she's put together, the natural essence of her smell, her hair, all that there. I mean, a male just can't do that for me. It doesn't react that way.
Even if he put on Old Spice?
Brute, my favorite.
You like put on some brute? He might get me, man. He dropped some brute. I don't know, man. Is that you smelling?
He might get you, but he won't get me. That's why you mentioned that there's this Old Spice commercial. Oh, my Old Spice is missing. And you hear the woman in the background laughing. Well, what's so funny about that? You want your man to walk around stinking. You still in this, Old Spice and stuff there. If he can go thug and stink all day. If you want him to stink, just let him know you want him to stink. He can stink all week for you. Okay. So, but my point being is that like Miss Annette said, I mean, I don't try to get in everybody's bedroom and stuff like that. I mean, I think like you said, we talked about you look at the clitoris and the
what is that? Why are we going down that rabbit hole? What is that?
Well, I'm getting ready to point something out to you.
Okay.
If you allow me.
All right.
The tip of the penis and the clitoris is basically the same thing. It's just the
pleasure centers.
Right. So I mean, speaking of testosterone and estrogen, well, I'm just saying, that's really basically pretty much the same organism. It's just not, it's just not on a penis. It's just, it's a mucous membrane.
What does that have to do with sexual attraction?
Well, I'm not saying whatever the individual's attraction is, that's on them. Whether it's a fetish or it's attraction or it's you just want to get their freak on or whatever, that's on them. Okay. I don't know what makes another individual want to find out what another individual tastes like, whether it's male or female.
It's interesting, Tyrone. I remember now I could pinpoint the day I understood that I was a heterosexual male.
Mm-hmm.
I never forget this experience. I must have been it could have been the 7th or 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
There's this girl. I mean, she wouldn't be like anything normally if I just went visually I'd be attracted to.
Yeah.
But I do remember going by her, and I do remember the reaction I had to her, and it was a real interesting kind of it's that thing, that
chemistry.
That chemistry. Thank you. The biology, that whole sexual attraction piece. That's why people get together and mate who probably have no business mating, but because of the chemical reaction that they're having to each other, right? And then what happens from that is then in some instances we create children. And maybe that's how biology works. Maybe biology is saying that I need the sex drive to be so strong so then that you will then in fact procreate.
Well,
But for
Yeah.
any rule, there are going to be exceptions.
Yep.
And so, and when you look at it right now, I'm saying that the statistics is 90% of the population in America is heterosexual, 10% is gay. So when you look at the overwhelming number of people, they tend to be heterosexual. So this idea, because I think it's not so much the environment. There's some people might get in the environment and they pick it up and go, I might like that. But your sexual attraction, just like it was for that young lady and me, right, is something that's deep on the inside of us.
Absolutely.
And again, there's the biological purpose for having sex. Now, I remember I got in trouble with somebody that said because sex is recreational. No, it ain't. Oh, yeah, it is on two levels. One is recreational because it's enjoyable, and two is recreational because you're recreating life.
Right.
You know, so I mean, this idea, and then I hear things like, "Oh, that was lust." You call it what you want to call it, right? Because a whole lot of it's the sex drive, and then we find out that this thing that human beings have called love, right? Erotic love is problematic on one level because erotic love will not sustain a healthy relationship.
Let me put this spin on it for you, then I'm gonna get out of here. I got an incoming call, but I'm gonna let that. You know, the prison to, you know, I mean, you know, you start from school to prison. I mean, but even that, I mean, they call it the pokey for a reason. You know, I mean, you go in there, you endure that, and I mean, whatever you come out as, I mean, you've got to be strong to say, well, you know, I've moved past that, I've endured that, and I'm a lot larger than that. But some people don't know how to come out and you know, be able to move past that as a male or a female. You know, whether they were, you know, if the guards did it to them, or, you know, the inmates did it to them, or whatever. They're not strong enough to be able to say, well, man, I can't shake this. And they get stuck with it for, I don't know, you know, it's a lot, man. I think some of it may be, you know, chosen, a fetish. Like I said, I'm not trying to be in everybody's bedroom. You do you, you know. I'm going to do me. Each individual do you, but I can't change them. I ain't trying to
you
change
say
them.
do you, then you go but.
But like Al said, you know, to each his own. I can't change it from what it is. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for that bit of reality, that in spite of laws, in spite of what would you say, scriptural prohibition, it has not stopped people from being gay. It doesn't, because we're talking biology. And that's the hard part. We're talking biology. There's a reason why they don't want in Florida, boy, Florida, where they don't want people to teach their children reproductive health. Because if you do it without judgment, that's a different piece. We've already said that there's certain behaviors. I would like, why is there a prohibition of, not prohibition, why isn't it, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Why can't people have multiple sex partners? What's the word for that? Yeah. Why do we need to be monogamous? Why? What does monogamy do?
It's supposed to, and I guess I would be like you. You know, you limit your chances of contracting
diseases,
STDs. It kind of really locks you into that person that you're with. You know, it's solely you and I. Of course, the whole purpose of sex, according to the Bible, is to be fruitful and to multiply.
Have children.
And you don't want to have children all over the place. So, I mean, there's several reasons where monogamy would come in.
And then children all over the place that are not being cared for.
Right.
So, because what people have discovered, is that, yeah, I might be attracted to such and such and such, and we create da 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 da, but then we can't stand each other.
Right.
So that's why sexual attraction is very different. So to create a child is very different than the nest and raising that child because of the level of relationship. But I was just curious to why people are monogamous and why they should be. Caller, welcome to the program. Oh. Hey, Carl, I see you. I'm going to ask you to hang on to after the break. You listen to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hello, Milwaukee. I'm Clarence P. Nicholas, president of the Milwaukee branch NAACP. Please join me the second Monday of every month at 10 a.m. on the Community Voice, hosted by Keith Parris. I will discuss what's been happening as well as the upcoming celebration of the 100th anniversary of the Milwaukee branch NAACP in October.
The Milwaukee County Office of Equity invites you to be a part of 5 years of purpose, promise, and progress. Conversations about advancing health and racial equity in our community. Join us on Tuesday, May 14th at 6 p.m. No Studios for a panel discussion about Milwaukee County's vision for health and racial equity.
Hello, this is Michelle Pitts of the New Pitts Mortuary. Tune in daily to our morning gospel hour, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 a.m. I am personally inviting you to join us for an hour of power, as my dad would say. And most importantly, remember us, the New Pitts Mortuary, in your time of need. We can be reached at 414-447-6000, the New Pitts Mortuary.
You're listening to WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
Listen, everybody. Listen up good now. Listen, everybody. Listen up good now.
.5 FM.
Welcome back. And caller, we really thank you for your patience. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, y'all ain't using up all my minutes. Question is this. Nobody wants to share no more. You can't have two women, or women can't have two men. The reason is nobody want to tell nobody nothing. It's the people out here got brothers and sisters that they don't know if they slept with their brother or sister because they don't know that's their brother or sister.
That's a good point.
There's a lot of that out here. A lot of relatives sleeping with relatives that don't know their relatives. And it's a shame, especially us, because how we've been treated in the past.
Yeah.
So the vision is this. Let gay people be gay and let straight people be straight. Do you and let me do me. Thank you very much.
All right. Appreciate you. Nobody want to share.
That's what you call dropping the mic. He didn't have much to say.
Right. But what he said was,
drop the mic.
Nobody want to share.
I didn't know where he was going with that one. I know he was going back in the tribal days where,
Well, polygamy. There was a practical reason for polygamy. you know, it wasn't based on whether or not you were sexually attracted or you were in love with somebody. It had everything to do with, as men were being killed, we need to procreate and women need to be taken care of. And I think we look at it from a 21st century perspective, where women are today. This, you're light years away from where women were during the time of antiquity, where women absolutely had no rights, which makes America very interesting just because of the rights that it confers on us women. Go to a Muslim country and see what the rights of women are there. I mean, go to Saudi Arabia. They just started letting women drive cars, right? So, you know, that's the perspective that we kind of miss. And so again, because we sexualize, we were doing sex education, and we were doing it in faith-based spaces. And so we have to be mindful of the different religious traditions and teachings that they might have around sex and sexuality. And so this one young lady wanted to be one of the teachers with the kids. And I remember turning to my colleague and saying, nope, not her. Because what she was bringing to what we should be doing when we teach reproductive health is we do it from an agnostic perspective. You don't have a judgment. You're teaching the facts and the science on it. And then hopefully if people know the facts and they know the science, then they will then make better decisions. Okay, that's it. They're under George Bush, and I'm kind of working with a program that kind of started under George Bush. But this had this whole thing of abstinence, right? And they would have these abstinence programs out there, which by the way did not work. And so there were other people, primarily people like Planned Parenthood, who would say we do abstinence plus. We teach that abstinence is the most effective form of birth control, right? But if you are going to be sexually active, then be responsible in your sexual activity, right? Primarily, wrap it up. That's the thing. You know, we don't create babies, we don't spread diseases. I mean, those are the two public health issues that we have out there that we have to deal with. And so she was very bitter about her relationships. So then she's getting in more into what her bitter experience had been, as opposed to just teaching the kids that if you have unprotected sex, that a woman can get pregnant. Here's the other thing. Biologically, when young men are able to create sperm and young women are beginning to have their menstrual cycles, they are biological adults as mammals. They are not emotional adults. They are biological adults. That's why you do bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah. People do their rites of passage. That rites of passage has everything to do when you go preteen and you become a teen, because when you become a teen, now you're able to, in most instances, create children. So as a mammal, that makes you an adult. Human beings are mammals, right? So the biology of it becomes more important to understand. And then I think if we could take judgments and labels off, part of the issue we had where, as always is, when it comes to these different health issues, Black people are usually at the bottom in terms of outcomes. And there were many Black men, particularly, who died from AIDS, who I believe should never have died from AIDS. Had we been more about the health issue and not around the sex issue, it would have been dealt with differently. Because you saw how we dealt with COVID. COVID was a virus, and it was a communicable virus. AIDS was is a virus. You know, you transmit it from one human to another. And then when they found out that in most instances that it was primarily transmitted by body fluids, so then who was it impacting? It impacted the gay male community. And then we found out that then IV drug users, because they were sharing needles, was in fact transmitting the virus. And then we found out that because it had got into the blood system, our blood system, Red Cross, other groups out there who provide blood to hospitals and other situations, it then became part of it contaminated the blood supply, right? So then that's where you get Ryan White. That's where you get Arthur Ashe, where they contracted HIV through drug transfusions, okay? Because I think Ryan Clark was a hemophiliac. And so he needed a lot of blood. You know, hemophiliacs have problems clotting blood. Arthur Ashe had heart surgery, and then he was infested by the blood supply. And it's just here been recently that the Red Cross has even allowed gay men to give blood because of the fear of HIV and HIV getting in the blood supply that's out there. So, all right. So I thank everybody for being part of a very, very great conversation as always. I love the people here who listen to WNOV. I say it all the time. Some of the smartest people on the planet happen to listen to
all black people. How you say that?
I love all African people all over the world.
Okay.
All black people too.
You like black people too?
Yeah, happy Black People Day. Yeah, I love it. How could you not love black people?
What? They put me in the mind of your other guy that you love.
Who that?
O'Donnell. They the gift they just keep on giving too.
Yeah. Oh man, black people. We bring something to the table. I don't care where you from. I don't know if it's a genetic thing that the Creator put into us, but black people. You gotta love black people, Devo.
I didn't say that I didn't.
No. Yes, sir, Nate. We're the original people, and we have an elevated sense vein in our pineal gland. Okay. Dream and trip. Well, we be tripping.
Yeah,
we be tripping.
We be tripping.
We be tripping hard.
Some of them callers we had this morning was
tripping. Man. It'll have you tripping. Yeah. No, I know, because there's a beauty to our in spite of.
You know, the thing that amazes me, Keith, is how many perspectives. And I think sometimes we get outside of and we fail to realize that our perspective or opinion does not necessarily mean that it's the rock bottom truth or fact of the matter. So sometimes we get a little personal in our positions when people don't agree with us.
I know how that feels, because seeing that I'm right all the time and you're not agreeing with me, I got a real problem with that, Devo. 414-444-5250.
I most times I agree with you. Sometimes you lose me. But for the most part, we're on the same page.
No, I tell people, because we got to be right. Don't get me wrong, but I just got to be right. I had a buddy used to tell his wife, he said, your problem is you're gonna be dead right, because some of us gonna go to the grave thinking we right. Oh man, I know I'm right on that, but I've been hit by that. I'm thinking I'm right bust so many times that maybe I'll just need to step back and go like, oh, well, maybe I wasn't right on that one. Now, the difficult thing is then to come out and acknowledge that you weren't right on a situation. It's like, here's a word that you normally won't hear a lot in marriage. Sorry. 5-letter word that you're not going to hear a whole lot in your relationships. If you hear it a lot in your relationship, the phone lines are open, 414-444-5250. Oh, let me do the whole sentence. Sorry, I was wrong.
Spell it. Spell it, because you're never going to hear it.
Again, 414-444-5250. Do you hear that a lot in your relationship? Sorry, I was wrong.
Really, Keith?
I'm listening to the crickets.
You don't hear it. Phone lines are not lighting up. Nobody's. All the red lights have stopped. They red. Traffic ain't moving nowhere. What's the tumbleweeds that come rolling up?
Again, when was the last time you heard? Oh, wait a minute. Let it know you heard. When was the last time you said, sorry, I was wrong? Okay.
That's what you call dead air. Well, let's see what we got here.
Call him up to the program.
Good morning, Keith. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Are we still talking about the gay agenda?
Is there one? Yes, there's one.
See there?
I'm listening on YouTube, but it's delayed, so I don't want to be on something else.
You found the gay agenda?
Actually, the question that was out there was, when is the last time you have said or someone said to you, and this is in a relationship, right?
In a relationship. Yep.
Sorry, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Oh, we don't change topics. Okay.
No, you can comment on the other, but that was the go on.
I've been married for 13 years, and my spouse has not said that.
What about you?
He
Because the first thing you went to was him. Yeah, he ain't never said it. But what about you?
I think what we do is we just show it like physically, like, okay, I'm not gonna verbally say it, but I'm gonna show it to you. You know, I might wash the dishes or something like that. And then he may, leave me some candy. That's a hard one. But I guess it do go in line with that subject of I can't show any weakness. I don't want her to think this. Oh, you guys. Okay, bye. Have a good day.
Wow.
He never. What about you? Well, call him up to the program.
Yeah, that's why I changed relationships, because she didn't want to say she was sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I ain't never heard it didn't work. Sorry, it wouldn't be sorry if you didn't do it.
Sound like he getting mad all over again. I'm getting mad all over again.
Don't be sorry. Be careful.
You wouldn't have to be sorry if you didn't do it.
That's right.
All right, man. Thanks.
Be good to yourself.
There you go. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Call him. Welcome to the program.
Oh, they hung up.
They hung
ain't
up.
Said it.
That's a hard one, man. That's a hard one. Let me put me out there, because it'd be like I can't remember when I've done it. But let me say this though, I felt it.
But what are you speaking to? I mean, are you talking about even like small things? Like my wife has accused me of moving something. I know you got it. And then she finds it. You know what? I remember when I put that there, but never once. I'm sorry. I was wrong. So where'd you find that at? Oh, it was over on my dresser. I remember when I put it there. So that's the closest I'm getting to it. So don't you want to tell me I told you I remember putting it there. I thought you had it. That's all.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, hi. I just said I was sorry 2 days ago to a friend that I'm with for 33 years.
Okay.
You said a friend of yours?
Yeah.
No. We're referring to into relationships, I believe.
Well, we were in a relationship at that time when I said it, but we're not no longer. So, yeah, I did say I was sorry.
You said, how long ago did you say it to him?
I was with him for 33 years.
And you told him you were sorry when?
2 days ago.
And y'all not together no more?
No, we're still friends though.
Okay.
I mean, we can be friends.
If this is the end, let's part as friends. I get it.
So did it hurt? Was it difficult to say?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I was wrong.
Oh, man. Ooh, I admire you.
Okay.
I admire you. Shoot, man.
Now I understand why you don't say it, because after 32 years, it's over.
Yeah. Well, maybe that might be something I can use.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. All right, we done. Bye. See you. Cancel Christmas. Bye. No, it's very difficult. It is.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why does it have to be?
I think because humility. I think didn't she say that we kind of expose ourselves a little bit?
Yeah,
And I don't know if that makes us feel vulnerable.
Expose
Weakness, and I don't. In my mind, maybe we need to recalibrate how we
But
view strength and weakness.
is it wrong to be weak towards your significant other? I mean, I get it in certain areas.
Well, you are,
always wanna
whether
be-
you acknowledge it or not. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean,
But I
she
mean-
know how weak you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she know, man. That I used to tell dudes, you're gonna find out some truths when you leave the crib. Y'all break up. She gonna drop some truths on you. One of them is that ain't your baby. Oops. And the other thing is she gonna comment on some anatomy pieces that you walk out of there that it's gonna kind of be like, oh man, yeah, because it ain't nothing like. And again, this is just my limited cloistered experience. There's nothing like when Black women bring some truth to you, because Black women gonna bring the truth, and they gonna bring that truth hard.
Hey,
and it started with my mama. It
she go over there.
she gonna let you know.
Keep that one song say. The dude tell his son, say, well, it's your 18th birthday. He said, well, I want you to give your mama a message for me. Say, so she out been paying child support all these years. Tell her lose my number. She ain't got to call me no more. None of that. I ain't got nothing to do with nobody but just me and you now. And so he went on. He told his mama, and she told him one thing: go back and tell your daddy he ain't your daddy.
Ouch.
Oops.
Ouch. And we're already dealing with a certain level of male fragility already.
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
Yeah.
That's always been out there,
Yeah. So it is. But I think, if you're able to grow in that relationship and you're able to, it's hard though, man. I've been married 29 years. And I can count on one finger the time I ever said I was wrong and I was sorry. So
why is that? Is it something you want to get on?
Yeah, you know why, man? Because I'm a man.
That's not.
I'm strong. I don't be coming up here showing you no weakness. I'm a man. So it has everything to do with. It's hard, man. Had my mother only told me one time she was ever sorry for anything she ever did to me. One time. Now, I don't know how often your parents told you that they were wrong when it came to you, but I didn't hear it growing up. And I'm going back looking at some of that stuff, and some of that was wrong, but I've never heard that from my mom. So
why do you feel it was wrong?
Oh, some of the stuff. It was wrong, man. I don't want to go into a whole lot of details, but it was.
You went the other day. You were.
What are you talking about? The church money?
The church money. But no, I mean,
I shouldn't be talking too much about that church money because I still think that's an open case. So I need to kind of
statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations might not be up on that one. That's eternal. That's eternal. Messing with God's money, that puts it at a whole different level of statute of limitations. So,
did you get a chance to listen to Tavis yesterday at all?
No.
He lost his father.
Oh, okay.
And he was speaking to just kind of a shameless plug of the Tavis Smiley show that comes your way here on WNOV from 5 until 8, Monday through Thursday. So he lost his father, I think it was the day before yesterday, and he was speaking to how his father and he were not very close for a period of time because his father, based on accusations, beat him and his sister basically to a pulp to where they ended up in foster care.
Right.
And he said his father did finally apologize to him. But the whole point I guess I was trying to make was that he said his father never asked him. He just went with whatever the pastor said because the pastor got out in front of the whole church and made these accusations against he and his sister. And it just spoke to, again, being able to say you're sorry, bringing that full circle as to how that even remotely crossed my mind. But yeah, even sometimes as parents, we're wrong. And when we don't dialogue and we don't investigate enough, we take the word of the pastor. And he said for years, all through high school, he and his mother, as well as his father, the mother, because she didn't protect.
Right.
And it was just a very interesting subject matter, the tribute that he gave to his dad.
Yeah, and that's why we have these complicated relationships with our parents. And because we always want to be like this, it's almost this linear, mom and dad and child. It's really complicated. There's emotions involved, circumstances of your birth, right? All these things kind of factor into what that relationship looks like and what it appears to be. I think parents have probably been taught that you don't want to appear weak in front of your kids, that you want to be strong. You want your kids to respect you. Actually, you want your kids in some instances to fear you in order to make sure that they're doing the proper behavior. But no, I don't. And at this point, because I have not done it, someone just sent to me, this is Proverbs 16:18, which says that pride basically leads, let me read it. Pride goeth before destruction, right? And a haughty spirit before a fall. It's better to be a humble spirit with lowly than to divide the spoils with the proud. So pride has everything to do with everything. False pride, this idea. I think the other thing is how difficult is it for us to even acknowledge that we were wrong? Maybe we know it, but to acknowledge it would mean we'd have to take responsibility for it.
Well, sometimes, Keith, let me ask you this. Do you do things without kind of thinking them through, or you just act on a whim?
I'm more apt to think about it now only because my body won't let me do,
I meant to this extent, and I'm going to revert back to what I was just talking about. He also spoke to how he does not regret the interaction and the things that he said relating to President Obama.
Right.
I never heard him say before, but he said, I voted for him both times.
Right.
That doesn't mean that there's not a certain level of accountability that I need to be able to hold him to. So the things and how the community turned against him and all of that, he said he doesn't regret anything that he said, because there goes that back to that pride, because he believes that he was right. And sometimes, to bring it full circle with our parents, they believe they're right at that point in time. So it is difficult for them to backstep and come back and say I was wrong. Now, what makes them do that? Maybe they got more information that they weren't willing to wait on before they reacted. It's a lot of variables in there,
Yeah,
variables.
and I've seen it, man, and that's why I become less judgmental. I could talk about what some of the things I might have seen adults do when I was a kid, and then now I'm an adult. I clearly understand what was going on. Didn't understand it as a child. You're right. There's a lot of factors out there, but
how much of that comes down to how they were raised too?
Yes. Oh, we're all the victims or the beneficiaries of our upbringing. And my mother said, maybe I should have sat down and discussed, what you did, and maybe we should even pray. I said, oh, now you saying that.
Now you want to pray.
Now you want to pray.
I was praying when he was whooping my behind. I was
praying for mercy. If there's a God, get this woman off my behind because she gonna kill me. Call him up to the program.
Hey, good morning, Keith.
Hey, George.
Hey, George.
I don't understand this discussion. And that was me that sent you that.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's so hard about saying I'm sorry when you're wrong. Even if to your kids, I've apologized to my kids for some of the things I've done. When I look back and I say, well, maybe I could have done that a little different. Sometimes you go off of the things that you learned from your parents. And when you look back, it's like, well, I probably could have handled that a little different. And some things I do understand, because it's just like, oh, okay, I know why they did that now. And, me and my son have had that conversation, she's like, Pops, I understand why you did that. And then I said, well, baby, I could have handled it a little different, And even in relationships with your siblings or your significant other. You know, if you're wrong, you're wrong. And what's the harm in saying hey, I made a mistake. I was wrong. I'm sorry. To me, that just makes your relationship stronger, in my opinion. I don't get it why you can't say, oh, well, I messed up, baby. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I wish I could explain it to you. I'm.
So you don't see yourself going home saying you're sorry today?
I'm gonna take I take a cue from her. I'm sorry that what I did
offended you.
Offended you. I'm not so much sorry that I did it. I'm just sorry to how you reacted to it. But I mean, because look, man, I think it's hard for me because I'm generally a selfish person trying to work through that, and I want to believe that that I'm right, or I don't want to take responsibility for my behavior. And so maybe if I just don't acknowledge it and then don't certainly do redress for it. I thought it was interesting when the sister came, said they would do little things to indicate that they were sorry, like I'll wash dishes. But you should wash dishes anyway. But no, you know what I mean? So it's hard. It's difficult. I wish I could get into the psychology around it, George, but it's hard for me.
But don't you think that puts pressure on your relationship?
Did he hang up?
Yeah, I think we could have got cut off. I don't know if it puts any less pressure on it. I just think that we work through it. You know, I mean,
Keith, I can always tell when I'm in the doghouse,
right?
Because I wash dishes, I cook dinner that day, unprompted. You know, just I feel like cooking today.
Oh, you in trouble? Caller, welcome to the program.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, how are you gentlemen doing this morning?
We don't know yet. We haven't made it home with these conversations.
Locks change. You know how we did this morning.
Yeah. Well, mine would be being a single mom. Sometimes kids try to blame. My kids try to blame me for how they ended up in jail and this and that, and their lives and how their lives turned out. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, they're in their late 40s.
Right.
And like I told them, now they don't do it no more. They're like, Mama, I'm so sorry that I blamed you. I'm like, thank you for apologizing. I said, but there are some things that I want to say to you as well. And I told them, I said, look, you know, being a single mother was never easy, you know, especially coming up in the 80s with the gangs and this, that, and the other. I said, and if I did some things wrong, I apologize to you as well, because you guys were young. I said, but y'all were some bad kids. Y'all broke into houses and robbed people and everything. I was at Children's Court Center. I kid you not. They were bad. Yeah. And I just told them, and they're like, I'm like, what did you expect me to do? I did everything to try to keep you out the system. And I always told my sons, your job is to help me help you. And if you didn't go to school or go in the Navy or play football, just do something, then what do you expect me to do? My job is to work, put food on the table, and a roof over your head. That is my responsibility. And they had church people in their life. They had the Islamic brothers in their life. They had teachers in their life. There's no reason for you all to sit back and say, my mama didn't expose us to nobody. Even the Job Corps people sent them back home. I'm telling y'all.
Right. Yeah, I think we have to take, and especially now we're talking about single moms, single dads out here, man. You trying to make the best that you can. It was interesting. My mom did one day, and I had to stop her because this one she never had to apologize for. She said, you know, I'm sorry that I didn't put money aside, you know, for you to go to college. And she said, I really regret that. And I remember saying to him, I said, no, don't you ever regret that. First of all, the sacrifices you made that we could even, all of us went to private school, right? I said, but here's the other piece of it. I should have been earning scholarships so you didn't have to save money. So this came down on my poor effort, not yours. This was me. And so I think we do that as human beings. We're selfish, right? It's all about us. It's all about us. It's all about us. And so then it takes us either to become parents or do some other things or grow up. And then we realize that it ain't always all about me, right? And that the sacrifices that people made, right, for me, you could get lost on all of that. Where people talking about, I know Martin Lewis always tell the story about what his mama didn't get him Nikes, she got him Hikes or something like that. But it was what you could afford. I mean, you got shoes. Now, my mama would say, you need to act like you appreciate it. Because if you think about, as kids, think kids are mercenary, right? Give me. I mean, that's where they are.
Keith, thank you for saying that, because I'm their only parent left. Their father's gone, and all he did, he was in the joint. He would write them letters and tell them lies about me.
Mm-hmm.
And they believed him. He's dead. I'm their only living parent. Now it's like they're both still in the joint. And I told them, I love you. Don't, if you want to talk to me, you write me a letter, because you can't get I will not accept no collect calls, none of that. Because I told them when they were younger, if you go to the joint, you can write me a letter, and that's it. I did my part, and I'm sad. I'm kind of sad, but I asked God to just take. I'm telling you this, you guys, because there are mothers out there that did their job. Mother's Day is coming, and they're twins, identical twins. One of y'all could have did something with your life, and my prayer to God was to just take them off the street. They've been shot. The other one got hit out there in Vegas and almost lost his life, and only by God's grace is why those twins are alive. It is only by God's grace, Keith, is why the twins are alive.
All right. Well, you know what? You're good.
I love you so much, Keith, for listening to me.
No problem. Thank you. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
First of all, let me say, Miss Annette, God bless you, and we feel your pain.
Yeah.
That was hard to hear, because I can feel your pain. God bless you, Miss Annette. I don't know if my call dropped, but what I was trying to say is that I think Debo might have brought this up about number 45 and how he has things to apologize for.
Yeah.
And we see his life. And I'm going to tell you something, Keith. And I probably said this on the radio before. God forgives, but people don't forgive.
Right.
That's the reason I've never ran for politics. Not saying that I'm not any good at it, but don't life be so exposed for your mistakes or your sins that you have done and how people will use them against you. And when I said your pride cometh before the fall, his pride got him in all his trouble. If he would have just set his back down and shut up, he probably wouldn't even be in the circumstances that he is. But because of his pride, that's why he's in the trouble that he's in right now.
Yeah, hubris is real. I mean, that whole humility piece that's a tough one. I know, and I tell people, you around here doing fake modesty. I'm talking about humility. And I think the first step in humility, this has helped me with this, is to acknowledge that there's someone greater than you.
But he compares himself to Jesus.
Yeah.
And you got all these people following you. Can you imagine? Because I'm going to tell you something. I think I've come a long way from the man that I used to be. But can you imagine how his wife is feeling right now? I mean, she probably know what she signed up for. But now that their business is spread all over, remember the black guy from Florida. I can't remember.
Andrew Gillum.
That was running for senator.
Andrew Gillum. Me and my buddy was just talking about him last week. Andrew Gillum. Yep.
Now, don't you think his wife knew what was going on? But she was probably saying, as long as we keep it on the DOA, nobody knowing about it, honey, do your thing. But once he fell in that trick bag and exposed himself, it was all over. Can you imagine your family members and everybody? Now, I'm pretty sure they standing by because you love your family members, but you better be careful what you exposing out here with yourself, because we all got a path and we all go forward. But how all these, what is it, evil evangelicals, am I saying it right?
Evangelicals, yep.
That are following this man, comparing him to Jesus, the next coming. Chief, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But y'all, if you made a mistake, and I'm gonna say this to you, Keith, too, and I know you're joking, but if you've done something wrong, say you're sorry. You'd be surprised how to make your spouse feel. And I'm gonna let it go at that.
You're listening to Community Voice. When we get back, we'll be announcing the Mother's Day contest winner. So if you've been listening and you signed up, you could be a winner. We'll be right back.
Milwaukee. This is Michelle Brown.
And we're joined in studio by Mr. Douglas Kelly. And how are you, man?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning.
Good
morning. Good morning. How you doing, man?
Oh man, Mother's Day, the Mother's Day giveaway. What will the winner get?
This year we sort of outdone ourselves.
Sure did.
And it's unfortunate that none of us could put our hats in there, including Debo. Even though he probably tried a couple times. But this year's winner is going to receive a $250 gift certificate from Robert Hack Jewelers, $200 gift certificate from Hawkins Hats and Things, a $200 American Express gift card where you can go shopping anywhere you want to, $100 gift card from Red Crab Seafood, a flower bouquet, and
that's it.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
So valued at slightly over $1,000.
Wow. Wow.
So with that being said,
call the winner 414-852-44.
No. You shouldn't know that number by heart.
Call the winner. That's the winner's number. 414-852-4414.
Let's dial the winner's number. Let's see if they're listening right now. I think that'd be a good thing to do. Y'all ready? We're gonna dial the number.
We're ready.
Let me see here. I want them to hear the dial tone and everything. So let's see. We're gonna dial the number. Oh boy, that's bad. Let's try it again. We'll give them one more indication.
You remember, I always say this when we do this, dialing for dollars.
Yes. I'm trying to think, what station was that on?
Channel 12, wasn't that the Grenets?
Yes.
You need to get off the phone.
All right.
Well, if you're trying to win this, let's be fair. We're gonna give them 3 tries.
Yeah. Dialing for dollars. Yeah. If we were out of school, we had to listen.
And then they have like a bowling show too. It's like
yeah,
bowling for dollars.
Bowling for dollars. Yep. Yeah. Throwback Thursday. Here we go.
There.
You need to move on to the next.
Do we move to the next one, or do we call them? Well, we tried calling them 3 times.
Okay,
hang on, let me try one more time.
I'll show you what the second choice was.
Third time supposed to be the charm, and we did the 3rd time, but we're gonna go on.
You're not gonna be happy. Well, we're not gonna reveal who it was.
Well, can't get through. We was talking about that yesterday. What we do before cell phones?
Girl, let me get off this phone. They're trying to call me. Okay, give me the next one. Moving on.
Okay.
My I guess tomorrow I'll come in with my Mother's Day playlist. You don't have to play it, but I'll just do my list of songs that I do.
Right.
Yeah, I do one of my favorite ones though. I always love my mama.
Oh yeah, we play that too.
Yeah. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Y'all did last year. Your Earth, Wind, and Fire's mom.
Yeah, but the one thing about this contest is a lot of men were calling, and it's not necessarily for their mother. So I didn't want to get stuck into using a
But
mother's
that's
song.
what Mike Pence calls his wife, mother.
Does he?
Yeah, he calls her mother. So I guess they call her mother.
Okay, let's try this
Here
one.
we go.
You know, that happened the Valentine's Day giveaway.
Yeah.
You remember? And the guy, he was at work and he wouldn't call us back, and I waited 24 hours.
Yeah, I
and
recall.
we had to. As soon as the second winner showed up, he calls.
What's
Is there
wrong with
something
these
wrong with the
people?
phone?
No, nothing wrong with our phone. Let's try it again.
Yep.
Yeah, folks on the phone, man. They. You want to try it? You try calling.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do my. I'm gonna do my Mother's Day playlist. I see you, man. I'm over here working. Keep it at 100. When will this term? When will this term run its course? When you say like keeping it 100. So anyway. So yeah, I got. Let's see. So I got "Always Love My Mama," "Mom" by Earth, Wind, and Fire, "Sadie," that's the Spinners.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see.
I got you.
Do
I heard you. Go ahead.
What else would I do? What was the? I think that Shirley Caesar song. Yeah. So, anyway,
You're naming mother songs?
Yeah, mother songs.
I got one. "Mama, You Been Good"
by
O.B. Buchanan.
What's his name?
O.B. Buchanan.
O.B. Buchanan. O.B. Buchanan. Because we're trying to get the winner in. So if you just wonder, we're just trying to get the winner in. Let's see what else.
No. That's what I'm calling you from.
You know, it's funny because you have all these Mother's Day songs or mother's songs.
Don't go down that road. I know where you're getting ready to go.
But you know, one of my favorites though for fathers is "Calling Him Father" by the Winstons.
Mm-hmm. Color him Father. I color him love.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I always thought that was the Impressions. I didn't realize because it sounded so much like, I don't know.
Right. It's different. Yeah.
Yeah, if that was a Curtis Mayfield song, but it sounded so much like the Impressions. So, yeah, that one. Let's see what other Mother's Day songs that you have out there. Mama, right? By Boyz II Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another good one. Yeah.
Mama, love you.
You feel like singing something? Is that what you're doing?
Man, I had rehearsal last night.
Rehearsal for what?
We have a home going for a guy singing the choir with us back in the
Are
day.
you doing lead?
No, man.
They know better. They ain't doing that.
I'm oldest in this group. Look like David Ruffin. Nobody paid to see you, Keith. No, so we had rehearsal last night. So I was doing a little bit of this. All right, Douglas, take it away. Oh, okay. We have a winner. The Mother's Day contest. Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am great. First time winning anything. Do you know how happy I am?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. No, there's been a mistake. Oh, no, you did win.
Don't you play with me.
Excuse me, can we need to take a break. I think there's been...
Oops.
Oh, I know I was going to hear what? All right. So, who are we speaking to?
You are speaking to Darlene.
Hey,
George.
Darlene.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. So, what you going to do with all this good stuff?
Well, you know, I'm a mother, grandmother, and a great-grandmother.
Okay.
So it's time for me to have some fun with myself. I'm going to enjoy whatever it is.
Okay. Well,
so you don't know what it is?
Right.
I know when I was listening to who just said you don't know what it is, I was listening and I talked to him. He said, hang up and call back. So I was just hanging up and I was just calling back. I don't know what I was winning, but I was going to try.
Okay. So
well, you didn't really win much, so you should have been listening.
And you may want to give it back.
Like, after you hear this, you probably don't even, because you were so busy calling, you weren't even listening.
Or you may want to split it up. But Darlene, you won a $250 gift certificate from Robert Hack Jewelers.
Yeah.
A $200 gift certificate from Hawkins Hats and Things.
Okay.
A $200 American Express gift card that you can shop, drop anywhere you want to.
Okay.
A $100 gift card from Red Crab Seafood. You can donate that to me.
Okay.
And
okay.
And a flower bouquet from Carter's Creation. You can donate that to Depot.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah, he gonna need it after this program today.
For sure. Wife already called. So I suppose you're cooking today, huh?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations, Miss Darlene.
Thank you. Hey, what station made you winner?
So, Darlene, I'll call you back in about 5 minutes to arrange a time for you to come by tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
And what station made you a winner?
860. Yes. I love y'all.
We love you too.
Love you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Douglas. Yeah. All right. So again, welcome back and congratulations, Darlene. Good job. Enjoy. It is, mother. What did she say? She's a mom,
grandma, and a great
grandma, and she's gonna do something for herself. So nothing wrong with that. All right, 414-444-5250. Sorry about that. 414-444-5250. We're expecting a call, so hopefully in the next couple of minutes, our guests will be coming on, and we'll be able to have that conversation. So again, 414-444. Hey, George, thank you, man. You made a great point. You made great points. I think you benefit, from that, being able to tell people that, that you're sorry, when you're wrong. And not that in many instances we don't know that we were wrong. We saw how everything happened based on the behavior. But I don't know. I don't know if it's something in the human psyche that makes it so difficult for us to say that we're sorry. So thank you for that great input in terms of that ability to be able to do it. But some people operate from the money Mike perspective. Don't be sorry, be careful. So don't do the things that require you to have to apologize, which is probably a better step than trying to clean it up after you've done it. So, yeah, good point. That's a real good point. I thought it was very interesting. We always lead off. Well, she didn't. Well, dude, we ain't talking about her. What did you do? Oh man, man, I was going through something, man, and y'all gotta understand, man. So. But I think it does get through, helps us get through a lot of that. And those of us who subscribe to being followers of Christ, we know we should always acknowledge our wrongdoing. And then the second part of that acknowledgement is always repenting, turning away from it, not doing it anymore. And if you can do redress, everyone talks about the story of Zacchaeus. I know Zacchaeus was a little guy. He climbed up on the tree because he wanted to see Jesus. He was a tax collector, but he was so moved by the message of Jesus that he became a follower. But then he did something over and beyond, because tax collectors are and still are hated. And he was very hated. But he said for everybody that he had gone in and that he had ripped off, he was going to do redress. He was going to do, what's the big word? Reparations, and to give these people back more than he had taken away from them. So that might be an example of conversion in terms of how we, change our behavior, and we come to grips with it. But for some of us, we don't even see where the behavior is even wrong. And that, in my mind, becomes very dangerous. And then something will happen where all of a sudden now you get hit with reality, and now you're sorry, but the damage has been done. And something George said, that God will forgive you, but people won't. People got a long history. So so we appreciate that. We're getting better at it. Now, if anybody expects Trump ever to say, because I think they did ask him, did he have anything to apologize for? And he said, nope, he does not. That's real dangerous. So if nothing else, of all the other stuff that we've seen in terms of behavior will not move you to not vote for him, maybe that little thing should concern you. Good morning. We have on the line with us Mr. Jamie Harrison, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee. I was getting ready to say RNC. My bad. We got them coming to town, man. How you doing, man?
I'm great, man.
And change jobs. I'm getting ready to drop that. You go, what? No, but they're coming to town, baby. That's why they're on our brain, man. What's happening? How you been?
I'm good. As my grandma said, don't put that curse on me.
Oh, man, I ain't going to put that on you. No, man. And people already look, well, I never trusted that dude anyway, right? So anyway, man, appreciate you coming on. The president was here with us yesterday.
Huge.
Oh, man.
With a big announcement.
Oh, man. Who came up with that idea to go and do it there? That was great. We lost him. Yeah, just in case, just to bring us up, we lost him. He'll call back. President Biden was in Racine, and Microsoft is putting a AI building down in Racine. I think it's about $3 billion. It's going to be a significant investment in that area, and they're doing it right in the area where Foxconn was. Remember Foxconn? And I think the president had a great line. He said it was just that, a con. And so, you had Scott Walker, you had Trump come in, and when Trump did or was touting it, we should have known something was up, right? And so yesterday the president was there announcing that investment in terms of that, and actually, and okay, I'm supposed to be neutral in this, so then what we should be doing is doing comparisons. And when you look at as what is it I always hear around here is receipts, and who has the receipts, then obviously in my mind the Dems have more receipts than the Republican Party. You back, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm back, man. You see the RNC, they don't want me to drop all those
I
knowledge.
know, man. There go the man again. I'm telling you, man. Conspiracy with a Q. So, talk about the president was here with us yesterday. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, listen, that's huge. Huge investment in the racing area. $3.3 billion to build a new data center for Microsoft. And these are good paying jobs that are really going to have a huge impact on those folks who get the jobs and the communities that they live in. And this is in stark contrast, because at the same place in 2017, you remember when Donald Trump had his golden shovel in hand and promised this huge manufacturing facility there, and it never materialized. And that's just typical Donald Trump. All for the picture and the bluster, but no substance at all. And so Joe Biden has continued to deliver for the people, and particularly in Wisconsin. Since he's been president, 178,000 new jobs have been created in Wisconsin. 178,000 new jobs. Hundreds of millions of dollars of infrastructure into the state of Wisconsin. And so this is a man who's not only talking about it, but he's doing something to improve the quality of life of people in this country.
The Democratic Party has made a concerted effort. I think it's about a $14 million outreach. Why is that important?
It's important, and I want folks, even before I get into what the DNC is doing, I want folks to understand this in Wisconsin. You are at the center of the political universe, and I want you to understand how much power you have. Not only will this power impact the quality of your life in Wisconsin, but it will impact and have ripple effects across this country, but across the globe. The eyes of the world will be focused on what happens in Wisconsin in this election season. And so we want to make sure that we can make the case of why Joe Biden deserves 4 more years, how he has delivered for the American people, how he's delivered for the people of Wisconsin, and how Donald Trump, the contrast with Donald Trump, because that's where the competition is, what he has done to move us backwards as a nation instead of moving us forward. I mean, just look at the contrast here. Well, Donald Trump wants to, he and his people want to ban black books. They want to eliminate affirmative action in their colleges. They have already cut reproductive health away from women when they gutted Roe versus Wade. They want to eliminate DEI. They want to make it harder to vote. That's the Trump agenda, right? He's about retribution and payback. But what has Joe Biden been really focused on? We have the lowest unemployment, particularly in the black community, in the history of this country. We've had an administration that is focused on giving people unemployment assistance, rental assistance, the child tax credit, which brought childhood poverty in the black community down to an all-time low, helping people in terms of housing, infrastructure. You remember Donald Trump talked about every week was infrastructure week and never fill a damn pothole. But Joe Biden, over $1 trillion into infrastructure.
Like a black church building fund, right?
Exactly right. Exactly right. Internet in our rural communities. That's what Biden has been focused on. First gun safety legislation in 30 years. The PACT Act, which is helping our veterans who've been exposed to toxic fumes. Bringing down the cost of prescription drugs. In our community, either you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, or somebody with diabetes. And the cost of insulin is hundreds of dollars a month. That is now capped at $35 a month. That is a real savings and an improvement in terms of quality of life. And then the student loan debt. I mean, how many of us impacted by student loans or know people impacted by student loans? I ended up leaving school with $160,000 of debt. Wow. My wife, $90,000, right? So together, $250,000. Every month, Sally Mae knocking on our door, right? Where's my check? And I've been paying for over 20 years. And there's so many people who have been, and they pay their religiously, but now what they owe is more than what they eventually initially borrow, right? This is the first president that has ever decided to tackle this issue, over $150 billion. And many folks, I'm hearing so many people who are saying, thank you, Joe Biden, thank you, Kamala Harris, because you've given me some relief off of the student loan debt. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
It's important how, we have to counter message. So how are we counter messaging people who said that? Now, I was just thinking as you were speaking, I think the last election, we said it was the most existential election until the next one, right? So here we are today. But I really do feel and think that this is existential. I don't know if we fully appreciate what another Trump election, the impact that it's going to have on this country.
It is so important. And folks, you got to listen to what Donald Trump is saying. He ain't trying to hide the ball. He is telling you exactly what he wants to do. He has said he wants to be a dictator on day one. What does that mean, right? How does that impact you? You can take the issue of reproductive health in and of itself. He has said that he believes that women should be prosecuted who go out and have an abortion. Understand what that means, my friends. Like, understand how that impacts your life. This is what this man is saying. He wants to prosecute. He believes, been arguing in the Supreme Court, that he should be, or any president should be, immune from prosecution if they assassinate a political rival while they're president of the United States. That is what they're arguing right now in the Supreme Court. So understand what this means in terms of the quality of life, the freedoms and the rights that we have fought so hard to get, and how quickly, when you lose one freedom, when you lose one right, it is so much easier to lose another. And it's a slippery slope right now with these MAGA Republicans. We see the chaos that they have going on just in the House of Representatives. Think about giving the keys back to Donald Trump. It would be a nightmare not only for this nation, but for the entire world.
Mr. Jamie Harrison, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee. It's always good talking to you. I know we're going to talk to you soon again, and we appreciate that. Appreciate all that you do there at the DNC.
Thank you, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you in person.
Yes, sir. Let me thank everybody, Debo. Let me thank Harvey. Let me thank Nate, all the callers, everyone. The good Lord willing, creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.
Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship presents its third annual Big Head Soiree, Thursday, May 16th at the Marcus Performing Arts Center in the Bradley Pavilion. I'm Andrea Williams.